Wise men speak because they have something to say. Fools because they have to say something. The first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. The heaviest penalty for declining to rule is to be ruled by someone inferior to yourself. At the touch of love, everyone becomes a poet. Courage is knowing what not to fear. The measure of a man is what he does with power. Ignorance, the root and stem of all evil. One of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. The soul takes nothing with her to the next world but her education and her culture. The just man is most free from disturbance, while the unjust is full of the utmost disturbance. Justice means minding your own business and not meddling with other men's concerns. Ideas are the source of all things. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. An empty vessel makes the loudest sound, so they that have the least wit are the greatest babblers. Love is a serious mental disease. The price good men pay for indifference to public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. No evil can happen to a good man, either in life or after death. A good decision is based on knowledge and not on numbers. The direction in which education starts, a man will determine his future in life. Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Wonder is the feeling of the philosopher, and philosophy begins in wonder. Rhetoric is the art of ruling the minds of men. Opinion is the medium between knowledge and ignorance. One of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. Those who are able to see beyond the shadows and lies of their culture will never be understood, let alone believed by the masses. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. When the mind is thinking, it is talking to itself. Necessity is the mother of invention. The excessive increase of anything causes a reaction in the opposite direction. The punishment which the wise suffer who refuse to take part in the government is to live under the government of worse men.
A hero is born among 100. A wise man is found among 1,000, but an accomplished one might not be found even among 100,000 men. Music and rhythm find their way into the secret places of the soul. To prefer evil to good is not in human nature, and when a man is compelled to choose one of two evils, no one will choose the greater when he might have the less. The greatest way to live with honor in this world is to be what we pretend to be. The penalty good men pay for indifference to public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. Democracy is a charming form of government, full of variety and disorder, and dispensing a sort of equality to equals and unequals alike. Justice means minding your own business and not meddling with other men's concerns. The first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. At the touch of love, everyone becomes a poet. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. The soul of man is immortal and imperishable. No man should bring children into the world who is unwilling to persevere to the end in their nature and education. We are twice armed if we fight with faith. Astronomy compels the soul to look upwards and leads us from this world to another. The most important part of education is proper training in the nursery. The price of apathy towards public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. He who commits injustice is ever made more wretched than he who suffers it. The greatest and noblest pleasure which we have in the soul is to recognize the truth. A good decision is based on knowledge and not on numbers. Philosophy is the highest music. I exhort you also to take part in the great combat. which is the combat of life, and greater than every other earthly conflict. Ignorance, the root and stem of all evil. There is no harm in repeating a good thing. The body is the instrument of the mind. Opinion is the medium between knowledge and ignorance. No one is a friend to his friend who does not love in return. Courage is knowing what not to fear. You should not honor men more than truth. Those who tell the stories rule society.